Hi guys, so look, apologies for the delay on this. I told you I'd get this onto you for homework there the other day. I think it was Wednesday, but just a bit busy the last few days, guys, so just getting it done there today. This is due for Monday. So we did this one in class and you can see how much time it took. It does take time, okay, to do these questions, but it is important that we recognise, guys, it is orthographic projection, elevation plan, auxiliary view over here, and then what we have to do is kind of find those intersection points as we did in class. Okay, now the guys who missed that, it's important that you go over that. I'm doing this one here for anyone who needs help with the solution video. Okay, some of you may not, so it is quite tricky now in kind of how I'm going to try and fit it on the screen. We'll do the best we can. So it tells us here, I'm reading the bit here at the top now. I'm assuming you'd have your sheet in front of you. The partial projections of two intersecting solids are given below. So what the kind of solids we have here is this kind of, it's a truncated pyramid by the looks of it, and it's been intersected by a triangular prism going into the object. So the triangle based prism is inclined to the horizontal plane. So what they're saying is the triangular prism is going in at an angle, as we can see here. That's the triangular prism going in at an angle. An auxiliary looking along the axis of the prism is also showing. So we've been given the x1, y1. It's an auxiliary plan where they projected from the elevation but took their distances from the xy line down. Okay. Identify the intersection points between the solids on the auxiliary and hence complete the projections of the solids. On the pictorial shown, illustrate how the intersection points are located. Okay, so what I would actually do first of all, and it's actually the easiest thing to do, we're going to do, and we did this last day in class, we're going to join this guy to here, because really what happened here is all the lines projected out perpendicular, and I'll write this in. This guy here was technically our x1, y1, and this guy was our xy line, just so we're all aware of that. Okay, so this point here at the bottom, that's going to line up here. That's going to be my projection lines. Okay, the next height up, I assume this one is going to match with this one. And then finally the top one with the top one. And you'll see all those lines are parallel. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to come down here and we need to do a little bit of a labeling exercise. Okay, kind of like we did the previous day. I'm going to use colors to label. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to use letters. Okay, now I might do it exactly the way they do in the book. This is how I'm going about it. This one here at the very tip top, I'm going to call that one A. Kind of, I went with letters the last day. Now that's a point where it intersects the body. We'll figure out in a minute. The next point where it's going to intersect will be right here. So I'm going to call that B. Okay, and then we have a point here which is going to be C. Then it's going to come down here, hit the edge right here. That's going to be D. And then we have another one here. That's going to be E, and E goes all the way back up to A. Okay, so there's my 5 points. In the last one we had 6. We just have 5 this time. And it's about locating those. So if I follow A back, A, C and E, as I've labelled it, are actually the edges of my triangular prism. B and C are just intersecting on an edge of the prism, okay, or the pyramid. So if I follow A back, well, there's A. Then if I follow C back, that's obviously the edge for C. And if I follow E back, that's the edge for E. Now, if I was to use normal orthographic projection rules, let's find them down here, which ones are which, and it'll help us orientate. A will come down. I can see that that one is A. Okay. This one here in the middle at the top, I assume is C. There we go. And then we have E. So there's C and there's E. Just so we're aware of that. Okay. Now, what we need to recognize is you have to nearly orientate yourself around the object. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to label this guy, and we're going to work backwards to label this guy and down to here. Okay, and then we'll even label this guy as well. So I went with letters for my prism, so I'm going to go with numbers for the truncated pyramid. Now I'm just going to start with the base. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go 1. This one where it's shown hidden detail is 2, 3, and 4, and that's our rectangle at the bottom. And now we're going to go up to our rectangle top. I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, and 8. And recognize that 1 connects to 5, 2 connects to 6, 3 to 7, 4 to 8. So now if I was to find those, let's work those back along the object. So using sliding set squares, we kind of have our guideline. Look, if I use the E to E as my guideline, I just want to be able to label it effectively. So look, this will show me where 1 is. That's obviously 1, which means the 4 is here at the back. Okay, if I do 3, you can see it all lines up correctly, and 2. Okay, I'm going to continue on, do the ones above. Let's find it's easy to do that. 5, 7, and finally 6. And there we go. And that will help me indicate, look, I've got 6 here, there's 7. The next one then is 5, and then 8. And finally then I'll work away here. So there's 2, that's 3, 4 is here on the outside, and there's my 1. Okay, so now that I've them labelled, I can work from the elevation down to my plan. Okay, working in reverse. Alright, nearly need to be able to kind of position ourselves around the object, but if I was to label them, look, let's draw it down here, you can see there 2, 3, 1 is going to be here at the front, 4 on the outside. Okay, and by process of elimination we know what the others connect us, so that's absolutely fine. So if I was to label those now, watch, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 is right in there, and then 1 connects to 5, which connects to 6, 7, and 8. Now it's labelled effectively. All I would like to do now is maybe label it here in the pictorial, and this kind of will help us visualize as we work through it. And what's great about these pictorials, they kind of show the hidden details as it's going through it. So what we have to recognize is, I suppose, where is the top point, okay, and where is like the bottom point. So if you see here E is at the bottom as we look down at it, and you can see E is at the bottom here, and even here in the plan view you can see E has the hidden details. So E is at the bottom, and that's obviously closest to the points 1 and 4. So if you look at it here, that has to be E here. So that's E, which means the one that, as we go up, then E connects to A. Then A connects in, no, sorry, A is here, and the other letter I have here on the outside is C. Okay, so that's C there. Now, if I was to label them going in, watch this. That point where it really intersects is the point A that I'm on about. This point here would be B. C is here, goes into D, and D goes down to E. And E goes back up to A, and we can see that line there. Okay, and that's kind of the idea. Now as I label it, okay, if we look at E, on the left of E is there's 1, okay, so thinking about that now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the long edge going up the whole way, so there's 1, because 1 goes all the way to 5 continuously and it's not broken. So there's 1, over here at the back is the 2, 3, and 4, then I'm on to 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so indexing and labeling is a massive help on this exercise, guys. Okay, now straight away what I can recognize is, if I look at this object down here in my prism, I'm actually going to draw in certain things that I can see straight away. I can actually start even drawing the plan. Like if you look at it, the triangular prism is not cutting any part of the top surface, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I come along here now, and with my, obviously I'm using a marker, guys, but you're using your pencils, you're going heavy over this. Look, and I think it always helps, if something's not broken and we know it's not broken, it always helps start helping us heavy into stuff and visualizing it. So there's the top surface. Okay, if the top surface is heavy in the plan, it's also going to be heavy in the elevation. So I'm going to come up here, and straight away I'm going to put in that line there. Okay, so there's the top surface line there. Now I need to think of the lines then that are maybe not broken by the object, and I look at the pictorial here, and the edge from 1 to 5 is actually a heavy line. I can actually see that. Okay, I can see it here. Now what we have to understand, in the elevation, I'm just looking at this here now, I can see in elevation, it's like, imagine now you're here, that's your head, there's the hair, there's my shoulders, and I'm looking in that direction at the object. So that's what we have to consider. When I'm a person standing here looking at the object, this is what I see up here, that's the elevation. I can see the edge from 1 to 2 and 1 to 4. 1 to 2, 1 to 4. The edge from 4 to 3 and 2 to 3 is behind those. So 1 to 2 and 1 to 4 I can see. Okay, so that means then, if 1 to 5 is actually a full line, can I see it? Yes, I can. So I'll actually heavy that in. I'm going to get onto the intersection points. 1 to 5 is a full line, so yes, I can heavy this in. It's about being able to orientate yourself around the object. So if I explain this, it's kind of like the elevation is kind of, one is in the middle. In a weird way, I can see the 1 to 4, and I can see the 1 to 2. It's kind of like, in a weird way now, I'm going to get rid of that guy that was from the previous one. It's like we're looking in this direction. And as I look in that direction, I can see the 1 to 4 and I can see the 1 to 2. And the bird's eye view is obviously when we're looking down on top. So I'm a bird looking down on top. And in this one, like I did the other day, it's like I have an eyeball here. I'm looking in that direction. So I can see the edge, as I said, from 1 to 4 and 1 to 2. I can't see 2 to 3 and 4 to 3 because they're behind those edges. So I'm heavying in those. I'm going to heavy in, look, 1 to 2 is a heavy line, 1 to 3, 3 to 4. I can actually heavy in all this. Okay, just working my way around it now. Now this one here, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to heavy in this the whole way here. I'm just going to go about as far as there. Okay, so I'm going to heavy in that. Now, is the edge from 6 to 2 full? Yes, it is. So there we go. Let's put in that as well. And if it's heavy here, and I can see it in elevation as well, because remember I said originally I can see the edges 1 to 2 and 1 to 4, so therefore I can see 2 to 6 as well. Okay, that's starting to become more visible. Is the edge from 7 to 3 penetrated? No, it's not. It's a full line. So 7 to 3 in elevation can go in as my hidden detail. Just making these things stand out. I haven't done any interpenetration work yet. I'm just doing the stuff that I can see. 7 to 3. Now this is the area that we're going to be working in, so I haven't heavied in any of that. Is the edge from 8 to 4 full? No, it's not. So that's where I'm going to have these cuts, and the same up here. So we'll have to get into that in a second, guys, okay? Excuse me. So we'll be getting into that there now. Right, so this is where we're going to start finding our interpenetration points. And as I said, we have 5 of them to find. A, B, C, D, E, E back to A. Okay, so that's the points I want to find. And just making sure I put the right ones. Sorry here now, guys, I'm just getting myself organised. Yep, that's the one I want. I'm sorry then, guys. Right, so as I said, we're going to find those interpenetration points. Now the easiest ones to find, we have to use the auxiliary to help us. The easiest ones for us to find are B and D. And the reason they're easy to find is because they're exactly on the edge connecting 4 to 8. Okay, so how do I get those? All I'm going to do, it has to be on the line from 4 to 8. So I'm going to find them by doing a bit of sliding set squares here, working backwards. So there's D. I'm going to project it all the way back until it hits the edge right there. And I'm going to do the same with B. And there's my points. I'm just going to call them. There's B. And there's D. Now, there's my 2 points. If I found them in elevation, I need to find them now in plan. And they're on the edge. Remember, they're on the edge from 8 to 4. So there's 8 to 4. So what do? Bring B down. Bring D down. B and D. Okay, so now that I've found that, I now need to find A. Okay, so this is the thing we have to consider with A. If we look down here at the pictorial, alright, what we have to understand is A. What face is A on? Well, if I can see where A is, that's the edge of A, okay, but where A actually penetrates the object is right here. Not there, right here. What face is A on? Well, A is on the face of the object that is numbered 1, 5, 8, 4. So it's on that face. 1, 5, 8, 4. 1, 5, 8, 4. That's where A is going in and hitting in there somewhere. Okay, so easy thing for me to do here in the plan. I can actually just bring A in. It's going to hit there somewhere. Don't know exactly where, but it's going to hit in there. I need to find that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use what's called a surface element. Okay, that's where it's penetrating, that point right there. I'm going to use 5 as my element. So I'm going to go from 5 through A, and I'm going to bring it down to the ground. And we have a point down here. And what's helpful about that point that I have there, that's an element connected up to 5. But along the path is where A is. That's where the penetrating point for A is. And what's helpful about this point here is, because it's sitting on the edge from 1 to 4, and I can find exactly where it is. So, using sliding set squares, working in reverse, that's the point where I said it's on the ground now. And all I'm doing, we have it here, that's where I'm after finding it here now. What number do I have to connect it to? 5. So I bring it up to 5. And somewhere along that line there, that's my element line. Wherever it cuts through the A, that's as far as A goes in as far as. So there's A. Now I've found A, I have to also find A in my plan. So how do I find A in my plan? Well, it's along this line here. It has to be along the A line. So what do? If I have it in elevation, just simply bring it down. There's no need to draw the element. I could technically draw the element. I could bring this down here and connect it up and it will give me a point, but there's no need. Once I have it here, I can just bring it straight down. It's quite close. And there it is. Right there. And there's A. Okay? So A goes to B. Alright? So we've now got A, on this one, we've got A, we've got B. The next one I want to find is C. Now what we have to consider here for C, what face is C on? C is penetrating a different face. It's penetrating the face 3, 4, 8, 7. So watch here, 3, 4, 8, 7. And on this one, 3, 4, 8, 7. It's actually hidden detail on this one up here. So let's draw it in. How do I find that? I'm going to do another surface element. So I'm just going to use 7. Doesn't matter. I could do 8 through C and it'll hit on the side here, but I'm going to use 7. So from 7, I'm going to go through C until it comes down to the ground. There. Okay, there's my element. Now I want to be able to draw that element up here. I want to slide it down. Remember, this is on the edge from 3 to 4. So if I bring it up, that's the edge, look, from 3 to 4. So it's hitting right there. And what number do I need to connect it to? 7. And remember now, the letter we're finding is C. So connect it up to 7. And more importantly, where it cuts through C is right there. And that's my point. So now I found A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. And then need to bring that down to the plan. So that'll come down there. What do I need to do with C here? I need to bring it in. And there we go. I have now found C. I have one more to find. So there's C. Okay. And now the last one I want to find is, I have D already found, I need to find E. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create an element from 8 through E. So from 8 through E down to the ground, which is on the edge from 1 to 4, and it's on the same face as the first one, 1, 5, 8, 4. So I'm going to find that. Now, makes sense, you might have all your elements done in one go. So there we go. Now, it's about there. Accuracy is important here. What number do I need to connect this one to? 8. And this is the one then that will give me E. So that's it there, and it's going to hit right in here. So there's E. Okay. And now that I have E in elevation, quite easy then to find it in plan. Bring it down. But what do I need to do? Once I have that brought down, bring E in. And there we go. Now I have my 5 points found. And as we were learning the other day in class, it's not just as easy as that. What we visualize and what we actually draw in is the important bit here now. Okay? So that's why I did a lot of the heavying in at the start, guys. So this is kind of where we have to kind of come back over here and use the guy here. So, if I'm a bird, I often like to start with the plan. If I'm a bird looking down on top of it, okay, can I see the edge from A to B? Yes, I can. If I'm a bird in the sky looking down, of course I can see the edge from A to B. So, let's go. A to B is going to go in heavy. Now, this is what I have to consider. Is 8 to B a heavy line? 8, the number 8 as far as B. 8 as far as B. If I'm a bird in the sky, can I see it? Yes, I can. So that's that bit there. Okay. Now, can I see from B to C? Yes, I can. It's along that face at the front from 8, 7, 3, 4. So here we go. B over to C. And there's that. I've got B to C. Can I see the whole edge from C to C there? As you can see. And of course I can. There we go as well. Okay. Now the edge. Watch here. From 3 to 4. Okay. That's a full edge. It's not been penetrated. Here's 3 to 4. However, as we can see, at a certain point it goes underneath the object. So we do have to put in a bit of hidden detail there. This is me just having in the parts that I'm kind of working out. So that's heavy as far as there, but as it goes underneath the object, it'll be hidden detail. So there's my hidden detail. Now, the next point I want to connect is from C to D. What you have to understand here is if I'm a bird in the sky, I was able to see all that surface on top. I can't see the surface underneath. So technically, from C to D, it is an edge, but it's hidden detail. There's my hidden detail from C to D. Now, can I see from D to E? No. Once again, hidden detail. Okay. Now what I want to consider is, what about from 4 to D? That's like 8. Remember 8 to B. 4 to D is at the bottom, but the whole object's on top of it. So that edge there will also go in as hidden detail. Okay. 4 to 1. Very similar. We'll get onto that in a second actually. Now that I have E, does E connect up to A? Yes, it does. E will connect up to A. But as I look down, as I look down on top of it, I won't actually see that. So there we go. Right, heavy in this. So that's the edge going the whole way in. And then the edge from E into E, that will go in as hidden detail as well. Okay, and there we have it. And the last edge I have to heavy in, from 4 to 1, the bit underneath the triangular prism, this bit here, will go in as hidden detail, and then that bit's heavy. Okay, so that is quite tricky, guys, and that's the challenge that we're faced with, okay, at this higher level aspect behind it. Now that's just the plan. We have to work up to the elevation. So as I said, now we're kind of looking in this direction, okay. It's kind of a tricky enough one where I was able to see it. I'm not looking in kind of from side. That would be an end elevation. I'm kind of looking in here. So what can I see? If I'm a person standing here, can I see the edge for A? 100% I can. So A can obviously go in heavy. Okay. So as I'm standing here, can I see the edge for A? Yes, I can. And A is the top one. What about C? Look, it's like we're kind of looking in there. A is the top one. Can I see C? No, C is at the back. So C will actually go in as hidden detail. Now that line there is a little bit confusing. Should be a hidden detail line. That's a hidden detail line the whole way. Okay, and then can I see E? Yes, I can, because E is at the bottom. Okay, and I would see E as well, going in as far as there. Now that's just the bits going in as far as I can see, I was saying. Okay, now we've done the first one. So here we go, we've got them as going as far as they're in. So now what I want to find is, I've got those going in like that, those lines going inwards. Now I want to find A, B, C, D, E back to A. And can I see them? So what I need to understand is, can I see from A to B? I don't think I can, because it goes downwards. It's actually going down. So I think A to B is actually going to go in as hidden detail. because if we're looking in kind of from here or even looking here, it's actually going along back that way, but it's slightly down underneath it. So A to B is hidden detail. Now, what about the edge from B up to 8? You can see it here. Look. So obviously you should recognize the top bit, you should be able to see. The bit inside it will be hidden detail. Okay, now we're going from B to C. It's like we're over here looking at it. Okay, from this side. B to C is behind this. A to E I will see, but I won't see anything from A as far as C and C down to E. So A to B I won't see, B to C I won't see, C to D I won't see, D to E I won't see. So a lot of this is actually going in as hidden detail. So B to C, hidden detail. C to D, hidden detail. And D to E, hidden detail. Okay, and remember then we're at E now, E back up to A, but I can see that as I'm looking in this direction. Okay, so E goes back up to A, and there we go. Now, remember here we did 8 to B, remember we did that one. What about 4 as far as D? So 4 will go up here as far as D. You'll see that much, but you won't see this. And there we go. Alright guys, look, that was your homework exercise. In my opinion, that one there, alright, is probably, look, they're both along the same lines, guys. They're both along the same lines. But they're all the skills that you need for that topic, okay? It's been able to visualize the object and work your way around it and working in kind of reverse. And then we use the tricks of surface elements, okay? Now, I obviously have the question here, and look, I'll go full screen there. More sugar. So here was the question. So watch. Now, I'm not sure what way they did it. We'll see what our solution looks like. Just clicking on ahead. Look, they use letters A, B, C, D, E. They recognize the face. See the face, the way they coloured it in, and it's coloured here. So the face will be, look, there's a surface element. They did it that way. Works exactly the same. Found it down here. Found their points. Edge B is on the edge. Edge D is on the edge. Did surface element for C. And there we go. I'm pretty sure if I look at mine, yeah, it's exactly the same. Okay, so quite challenging, guys. All right, quite challenging, those kind of questions, but it's all to do with visualization, and the more you practice, the better you'll get. Okay, guys, so that's the homework video there. Hope you get on okay with that.